So the Wii never was one of my favorite Nintendo consoles. Like, I mean, I like it, but I don't like it as much as most of the other consoles. But when I was making this video, I counted my Wii games. I have 78. I'm not, well, it's 78. 67. I don't know where I got 78 from. Anyways, like, I have more Wii games than GameCube games. But yet I like the GameCube more. I did. I don't understand it. Anyway, I'm just ranting. Let me get started with the video. So, Bit Trip Runner complete. I mainly brought this, or I mainly wanted the Bit Trip Runner, which is a like auto runner 2D platformer. It does kind of go with like the you have to hit the buttons in time with the music. That's how most of these games are on here. There is a version of this on the, I think the 3DS. I think that's lacking content that this one has, but I recommend this game. It's very unique for a rhythm game. I'm not quite sure what I wanted to say, so Blastworks. This is a 2D shmup, shoot 'em up. It's not the greatest game. It's not horrible. Like, for $5, I think that's how much I paid for it, roughly. The thing about this though is, you know, when you kill enemies and you touch their like remains, they'll attach to your ship. So as you play through the level, your ship will get bigger and bigger, and you can also acquire more guns and whatnot to have more shots that you can fire. But as you get hit, they'll fall off. Not the greatest. It is mildly entertaining. Like $5 or $10, yeah, you're gonna probably get enough enjoyment out of it for that. I can't stand this copy though because the cover art's faded. Alright. Boom Blocks. This is like, I guess the closest thing I could compare it to is Jenga. I mean, with Jenga, the point was, you know, keep the tower standing, but with this, you want to knock it down. And, you know, you take the Wii remote and you like hold the B button and you throw it. You gotta aim and throw it. There's other game modes on there aside from just like knocking down blocks and towers. I don't remember them because it's been so long since I've played it. There was a sequel. I think it was called Boom Blocks Bash or something. I can't remember. I'd have to look it up, but I'm too lazy, so yeah. Castle of Shikigami 3. This is another side-scrolling shooter shmup. The second one's on PS2. I'm not sure what the first one's on. Probably PS1. Instead of controlling spaceships, you're controlling anime characters, and they all have different like types of fires and bombs and whatnot. Or I shouldn't say fires, but guns. I mean, it's fun. I don't really know what else to say. It's just another shmup. It doesn't do anything unique, but it doesn't do anything to make itself stand out, really. At least I think. The Blob 2. I don't have the first one. I don't know if I'm going to ever get it, because I played through this. I was satisfied with it, which is why I don't know if I want to play another game. But this is a 3D platformer. The main like gimmick of it is there's like paint balls in the world, and you'll touch it. It's like a power up, and then you'll just basically go and like as you jump on buildings and whatnot, they'll color them, and you're supposed to like color the whole level. Um, I think this was released on PS3. I don't remember. It seems familiar. It might have been because of PlayStation Move. But yeah. I love the Dead Space trilogy. 3's not the greatest. I hope if they do remake 3, they fix it. Because I think they're going to remake the second. After the success of the first remake, they're probably going to remake the second one, maybe the third. Hopefully they'll fix it and make it an actual survival horror. But anyway, I'm getting off track. This is an on-rail shooter. And it's a prequel to the first one. It shows what happens on the spaceship before Isaac gets there. And it's very interesting to see how things wind up. Yeah, I don't really know what else to say. It's on-rail shooter. I'm not gonna sit here and explain every game because I got like almost 70 to get through, so I apologize. And with some of them, like this, I don't really need to explain it. This actually was probably my favorite Donkey Kong game until Tropical Freeze came out, and then that one took over. But I like what they did with this one, where they made Diddy kind of like a power up. You know, he jumps on your back, and then he's essentially like a jetpack. The thing about these are the two Donkey Kong games are with Mario, modern Mario anyway. It feels like his games are a lot easier, whereas the Donkey Kong games still retain that challenge. But yeah, those games, they will kick your ass. This is kind of an odd one. The whole like the best way I can describe it is it's similar to Katamari Damacy. If you've played that with Katamari, you're just supposed to roll up stuff and get your thing as big as you can. But that's kind of like each level is in sections. Like you get so many things rolled up, and then your ball get bigger so you can access the next area, and then you get so big, and then you can access the next area. And that's how this is. It's kind of a first-person shooter where you're going around trying to kill these little Ellie bits or gather them, I forget. And after you collect so many, then you get access to more areas in a level. Collect more, get access to the next area. So it has a similar like idea, I guess, or structure to Katamari, but like it's by no means like a AAA game. I'd honestly I'd say it's barely like an A game. Like it's okay. Okay. Excite Trucks, which was the first one. This is part of the Excite Bike series. Excite Truck. I wasn't crazy about it, to be honest. Like it was okay. It's an early Wii game, so they forced motion controls on there. Like it didn't feel like it was super well thought out. They were just like, okay, what racing game can we make that we can force motion controls on? This. And with Excitebots, this one was much more like fleshed out. Like this feels like a tech demo almost, and this feels like a full-fledged game. And I don't know, this just feels like, they took what they had here and learned from it and made like a better game out of it. So if you're gonna get one, get Excitebots. Excite Truck, it's whatever. I mean, it's not bad, but it's not great. Okay, a quick one. I got it cheap just because it's got classic games on there. Has Connect 4, Battleship, Yahtzee, Boggle, Sorry, and Sorry Sliders. It's literally just board games on a Wii disc. Like I don't really need to explain anything else about that. It's fun, I'll say that much. Uh, Fire Emblem Radiant Dawn. This is just like every other Fire Emblem game. Uh, I have not actually played this yet because this is technically a sequel to Path of Radiance on the GameCube, and I have not finished that yet, so I don't want to jump into this until I finish that one. So I don't have anything to say about it other than it's probably good. Okay. Geometry Wars Galaxies. This was originally, I think it was included with Project Gotham Racing or a Forza game on the 360. It was originally on the 360, but and then they re-released it by itself on the Xbox Live Arcade. It was a mini game on Project Gotham, and then went to Xbox Live Arcade, and then it got released everywhere else. This is like the definitive version of this game. It is also on the DS, I think. DS or 3DS, I forget. Um the third one is available on the PS3, or I'm sorry, on the PS4 and Xbox One. Second one is on the 360 only. But it's a twin stick shooter. It's basically an arcade game. You just try to kill as many enemies as possible and get as high of a score as possible. And I don't know if you can see it, but this has that kind of has like a metallic. Oh yeah, you can. Has like a metallic look to the cover, which I really like. I wish more games did something like that. But yeah, that's a really good game. I highly recommend it. It's super addictive. Um, Ghost Squad. This is a light gun game. From Sega. It's kind of House of the Dead esque or Virtual Cop esque. It's just try to get as far as you can and get the highest score. That's it. It's not. It's not like amazing or anything. It's just it's passable. Like, I mean, there's better light gun games out there, which we will get to momentarily. I'm not going to spend much time on this. This is basically, if they took Call of Duty and made GoldenEye out of it. That's literally what it is. It's not bad. It's actually a good game. I did enjoy it. Though the original is much better, in my opinion. Dropping stuff. Literally just Call of Duty GoldenEye. I don't have anything else to say about it. Going back to Ghost Squad, is House of the Dead 2 and 3 Return is the same as Ghost Squad. You're just trying to get as far as you can into the game to get the highest score. If you fail, gotta start over. House of the Dead Overkill, is more like Dead Space Extraction, where it's actually got a story to it. And the whole House of the Dead series has such bad voice acting. It's funny. Like, it's just so stupid. Like, go look up a video of it on YouTube. Like, look at like House of the Dead 2 voice acting or something. But this has such over the top language, and it's made in a way to make it look like an old school movie. But yeah, it's very fucking over the top. I wish Klonoa got more attention because it's a 2D platformer. I never played the original PlayStation version, but I do have the PS2 one. But the only thing I don't like about Klonoa is the characters sound like they're voiced by kids, and it just, I mean, it is aimed at a younger audience, but I'd almost be happier if they didn't have any kind of voices because I don't want to listen to little kids and yammering on for the whole time. But Klonoa needs more attention. We need more Klonoa games. They re-released a remake and remaster of the first two for PS4 and Switch and PS5. So please buy Klonoa if you haven't. If you're looking for a 2D platformer, it's actually really good. It is easy, but all right. Koro Rope. Wait, Koro Rinpa. There, I got Koro Rinpa. Marble Mania. Um, this is a motion control heavy game. You control this marble, and you're essentially like, when you tilt your controller, you're essentially like tilting the platform, and you're trying to get the marble to the goal without it falling out yeah, trying to get it to the goal without it falling off the level or getting stuck in anything or whatnot. It is fun, but because the motion controls for the Wii are kind of janky at times, it just doesn't want to work 100% of the time. I do recommend it. Just expect some of the later levels to be bullshit because of the motion controls aren't as accurate as they should be. Yeah. All right. 3-pack. One more. All right. All right. So let's get this out of the way first. Kirby Dream Collection. It has Kirby's Dream Land, Kirby's Adventure, Dreamland 2, Superstar, Dreamland 3, and Kirby 64. They're all great games. You know, Kirby's Dream Land 3 specifically is expensive for the Super Nintendo, so this is probably a cheaper alternative. And I mean, you get 6 games on here. Like, all these old Kirby games are great. I argue the worst one, though, is probably the original Dreamland, just because you can't actually copy abilities in that game. That was before that was the thing. But this includes like a soundtrack and a collectible book. I don't remember what's in there because I bought this so long ago. But yeah. Okay, it says Celebration Book. A special booklet is stuffed full of 20 years of character art, development sketches, and behind the scenes details. So, yeah, just a behind the scenes thing, basically. But yeah. Kirby, that's absolutely a must own for a Kirby collector. This is actually, I really like this game. It's very different from other Kirby games because it originally wasn't supposed to be a Kirby game. They slapped them on at the end. But it's the only thing that sucks about it is that you can't really die. You collect gems throughout the levels, which is like coins or rings, like in Mario and Sonic. And if you fall off a level or get hit, you'll lose them. So it's very forgiving. It's very easy, but it is fun and enjoyable because it's something different. And Kirby doesn't transform into anything like by sucking up enemies. That's the only downside. He has like a yarn whip that he can grab enemies with and ravel them up into a ball and throw them. But it's another 2D platformer, you know. This is an actual 2D Kirby game, which is I didn't buy it on Switch yet, but it's, I don't know, it's a 2D Kirby game. Like, I don't really need to explain it. If you know what one 2D Kirby game is, you know what they are. All are. It's a good game. I recommend it. Probably more worth it on the Switch than this version, but yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna get these out of the way first. Metroid Prime, Metroid Prime 3 Corruption, and the Metroid Prime Trilogy. So yes, I actually have 2 copies of Metroid Prime 3. I don't know. It's Metroid Prime. I don't know what else to say. I actually prefer the 2D Metroids to Metroid Prime. I've only ever beat the second and third one once. I beat the second one on the GameCube, and then I beat the third one on here, but I haven't played them since. I'm kind of hoping that they re-release Metroid Prime 2 and 3 remastered. The second one I thought was way harder. Third one, I don't recall it being super difficult, but they're all 3 of them are good games. With the first one, the fact that it's been remastered for Switch, that is the definitive version of that game. But while I'm on the subject of Metroid, before I forget, one of the highly disliked Metroid games. I actually liked it for what it was. I understand why people don't like it, and I don't like that Samus was a whiny bitch, to say the least. I think this game would have been better off as a prequel rather than like a midquel. If they would have done this when Samus first became a bounty hunter, it would have made more sense because, you know, with Adam dying, that could have been what made her become the more silent and aggressive protagonist. And with it, if it was a prequel, um, also it would have made sense for her because she doesn't use weapons until she's told, which doesn't make sense because she's bounty hunter. She's like does whatever she wants. But if it was a prequel, it would have made sense because she would have been if it was a prequel because she was new to being a bounty hunter. Anyway, I'm getting off topic. Maybe I'll make a video about that one day. But yeah, it's not a full 3D Metroid, but it's not a 2D Metroid. It's like a 2.5D. I thought it was fun, but I also would rather literally play any other Metroid game. All right, I'll do a double. This one's too easy and this one's too hard. Like, I like Mario Strikers, but I'd say like if I were to rank the sports series, golf's my favorite, then tennis, then this, then baseball, and then all these. Just because I'm not crazy about soccer. Well, I'm not crazy about sports in general, but I do like quirky sports, which is why I have these. This is another game where I wish they didn't have motion controls tacked on. It would have been better off without it because they did it on the GameCube. They can do it here. But it's just bigger and better. With Mario Sports Mix, this has, what is it? Dodgeball, volleyball, hockey, and basketball. And hockey and basketball are they play basically the same, so there's not really a difference. And this is like super easy. When I played through it, I won like almost every game. Like it was borderline not even fun. I mean, it is fun, but it's not fun when you walk through a game and don't have any challenge. So this, I only recommend it if you have people to play with. This, you're probably gonna get your ass kicked. So it's more like pick your poison kind of thing. Yeah. Okay. Mario Party 8 was the last good Mario Party. 9 and 10, I did not like the kart racing. What am I talking about? I did not like the whole aspect where everybody was in a vehicle together and you were basically going from point A to point B. Like Mario Party is supposed to be like a board game. Like you're going around collecting stars, trying to get as many as you can. Whereas this one, it's just like you don't really have control over what's happening half the time. You're at the mercy of the other players. I do think this game worked better in Mario Party 10 with Bowser Party. I just think it was very one-sided in that game. But yeah. More Mario. It's Mario Kart Wii. Not my favorite Mario Kart. Not my least favorite either. Yeah. I don't know what else you want. I shouldn't have to explain Mario Kart at this point. Okay. Mad World. This is by Platinum. Same people that did Bayonetta, right? Yeah, I double check. This is an action game. If you're familiar with Platinum, you know action games. But this is literally the whole game is black and white. I played it briefly when I got it. I haven't actively had a chance to sit down and play it. But Platinum is usually good with their games. So from what I played, I do recommend this. However, do get used to everything being black and white except for blood, which is red. It's like literally like that's what the game looks like. It's in black and white and red. Okay, this is actually interesting. This is a 2D platformer where you play as a shadow and all the platforms you're walking on are shadows of other things. And it starts off like you're some kid at the top of a tower and he gets his shadow removed and thrown off to the bottom and you got to work your way back up top. And you actually use the Wii remote at times and even just the control stick, but like you move lights and stuff to alter the platforms that you can walk on. So it's actually very interesting. This is the type of game that I would expect to have had like an Xbox Live Arcade release or something. But it's like a very good 2D game, but it's not like a AAA game. It had the potential to be a AAA game. It just didn't quite get there. But I would highly recommend this. The combat though is kind of that's the weak point of this game is the combat. It's just very lame and generic feeling. All right, a quick one. It's Zelda. Um, I got this when it came out on the Wii. Um, well, I didn't get it when it came out. It was the first game I got for my Wii, I should say. I didn't play the GameCube version originally, so I only played through it with motion controls. But when it came out on the Wii U, I replayed it on there without motion controls, and I like it that way better. Um, I've grown to like this more now than I did then. Same thing with this. Like this is probably one of my lesser favorite Zelda games, but I do like it more than I used to. I think the Switch version, the fact that I don't have to use motion controls made it more entertaining for me. My biggest complaint with this was all the like collecting crap that you had to do, where you had to collect those little like spirits or fireflies or whatever they are. I can't remember. You were constantly go to area A, collect stuff. Go to area B, collect stuff. Go to area C, collect stuff. Go back to area A, it's different, collect stuff. Go back to area B, so on and so forth. And fun fact about that, I didn't find out until the final boss that you could block with your shield. Or I didn't find out how to actively block with your shield. I fucked it up the whole game. I like must have missed that during the tutorial or something because I went through the whole game without blocking anything till I got to the final boss. Last story. It's an RP. It's this weird like third person action RPG. I don't even know how to explain it. It's not. I didn't get super invested into it. I did finish it. Um, Genuinely games that I don't care for a lot. I don't remember because I don't remember much about this. Um, this also came out around the time Xenoblade did, which we'll get to, and I was more engrossed in Xenoblade. Yeah. I wish I had something more to say. Like, it's not a bad game. It just this didn't click with me like I wish it would have. New Super Mario Brothers Wii. The second of many. They're all good. I think this is the best one in the series because they took what the DS version did and they just improved upon it and added more. But then with New Super Mario Brothers 2 and New Super Mario Brothers Wii, that was more of, all right, here's more of the same. This was the one that added multiplayer. This was the one that like they introduced like it used motion controls a little bit, but not a lot. So it was just like tilting when you stood on a specific platform, you'd like tilt the Wii remote back and forth to tilt the platform. It did a lot of subtle things that made it stand out. Whereas the third and fourth games, it's like it was just do more of the same because it sells a lot. But yeah, this is probably in my opinion the best of the new series. All right. Nights into Dreams for the Saturn is like awesome. This I don't know. This one just didn't quite have that same magic that the original did. And they very much did try to make it bigger. Like the original game wasn't long at all. You could literally beat it in one sitting if you really wanted to. This one, it definitely has more meat on its bones, but it just I mean, chances are you're not going to be able to get a hold of the Saturn version because it's expensive. But, this is fine. But I don't know. It's good, but not great. No More Heroes. Um, I haven't had a chance to play the second one yet, or the third one. Uh, who made this? Okay, yeah, that's right. I was thinking Platinum made this for a second. I don't know why, but yeah, it's. I love the like humor in this game. It's so stupid and it's very like over the top and violent. Um, they did get re-released on the Switch. I would like to pick them up on there as well. But yeah, I didn't really get too invested into either of them yet, unfortunately. I mean, I did play the first one a little bit, but not I didn't complete it, so I can't really give enough opinions on it. Just like this, I played it for a couple hours. I did like what I played, but I just there's always some other game that catches my interest, and I'm constantly getting distracted. It does the game does kind of have a like a Zelda vibe to it a little bit. Um, and this was actually the third game. If you're familiar with Operation Rainfall, there are 3 games that got translated into English, but were only released in Europe. And this was the third game. The first one was Xenoblade. Second one was Last Story, and this was the third one. And I bought all 3 to support it because I'm like, there's no reason why those games didn't come out over here. All right, Punch Out. I was never big into Punch Out, but this one's actually pretty good. It gets brutally hard later on. This is very much just it's basically boss fights is all it is, and you have to memorize patterns and learn how to attack them in what specific order and when. And it's very fun, but it does get challenging. And I just noticed that it does use the Wii balance board. I did not know that. That's probably to make you if you stand on the Wii. I'm assuming if you have it and you're using it, if you like lean to the left or the right, your character will lean left or the right. But yeah, Punch Out. Rayman Origins. I've always liked Rayman. I didn't care too much for Rayman 2 and 3, the like 3D platformers. I prefer the 2D ones. I really like this, and I really like the Legends on the Wii U. I very much love the art style. And it has 4-player co-op and all that nonsense. Like this feels like their take on a new Super Mario Brothers game, and I think they did it right. I just wish that it didn't die off after Legends. I think it's going to be a while before we see another Rayman game, unfortunately. Yeah, that's one of my favorite 2D platformers though on the Wii. All right. Red Steel 2. I didn't get too far into this, and I don't have the first one. It was fun from what I played. It is feels kind of janky at times to switch back and forth between the gun and the sword. It doesn't feel like it's as like simple as it should be. But yeah, I don't have much to say about that, unfortunately. I got a big old pile of games next to me. I'm just throwing them on the floor. Okay. Resident Evil 4, Wii Edition. I got it for a couple bucks. It's Resident Evil 4 with motion controls. Next game. I don't know what else you want from me. Alright. The Umbrella Chronicles, Darkside Chronicles. These are on-rail shooters similar to like Dead Space. And they follow the game, like the original games. Let me look here. I can't remember. This one does 0 and 1, and this one does 2 and Code Veronica. You're playing through those games, but as on-rail shooters, and they were actually really fun. I'd recommend them. They do have co-op too. Like, these are definitely worth having. I think the Wii does a great job with a lot of like light gun games. I mean, it's almost like that's what the controller was built for. All right. This is kind of I don't know, WarioWare. The original was on the DS. I'm not sure if there was any more or not. But it's kind of think WarioWare, but instead of like super fast mini games, you have to do the mini games and time it with the rhythm. And they are so like weird. And just like WarioWare, after you do a bunch of the mini games, you'll get to like the final of whatever character you're playing, and it'll be like a mishmash of all of them. And that's how this is. It'll like mishmash all the different things into one, and it really like keeps you on your toes. And I do apologize if I'm kind of like rapid firing because this is actually my second take. Uh the first take I did, I realized I didn't even hit the record button. That's why I'm kind of like half-assing my explanations. All right. Um I guess the best I could use to describe this is Star Fox. I think it's better if compare it to like Space Harrier, which is a Sega game. It's literally just, or it's another on rails game basically, but it's not just gun. You have a sword as well, I think, and you can like hack and slash the enemies. It's not like super fantastic, but it's not. It's definitely worth checking out. Mario Kart, but with Sega characters. I actually also have this on the Xbox 360, and I recommend that version over this solely because that has Banjo Kazooie as an exclusive character. The only thing that this version has over the 360 version is motion controls, but it's literally just Mario Kart with Sega characters. Sonic Colors. This one has like a kind of metallic-esque cover. You can't really tell. But this was probably the first good Sonic game in a while. Because after Adventure, like Sonic Heroes was okay. Sonic 06 happened. And then Sonic Unleashed came out. Or I'm sorry, then we had Shadow the Hedgehog, which was, a thing. And then Sonic Unleashed happened, and the day stages were fun, but the Werehog stages, not so much. So with this, they took the Sonic stages from Sonic Unleashed and made it into a full game. And this is what modern Sonic should have played like. Um, it did get re-released on the Switch and PS4, and I think Xbox One. So I'd recommend those versions because they're like the definitive versions. But this is definitely a must-play Sonic game, at least in terms of like modern Sonic. All right, Mario Galaxy 2. Uh, I I actually I like Mario Galaxy, but I definitely like prefer Odyssey over these. Like I think the second one's better. Um the it's not like a full open world 3D Mario game like 64 Sunshine and Odyssey. It does feel more like point A to point B. I mean, they're great games, but I prefer the more open world 3D Mario games. But with Mario Galaxy 2 specifically, the main change in that was the addition of Yoshi. I apologize for the glare. Um, I wish I really like how Yoshi controlled, and I wish they just would have made a Yoshi game and had him control like that because I think they did it perfectly. Um, unfortunately, I don't know what else to really say. I don't. This is one of those games that like it used the motion controls minimally to the point where you need them, but I wish they just would have made it without it in mind. If you know what I mean. Like you have to shake the Wii remote to do a spin attack. Why can't that just be a press of a button? You know? All right. This is Mario All-Stars, the Super Nintendo version. It's fine. It's just a Super Nintendo game. It this should have had Mario World in it. Like, there's no reason why. Like, this is such a bare bones port. I did. That game frustrates me. I'm just gonna move on. I actually really like Super Paper Mario. I mean, I wish it was more in line with like the first two games. You know, the 64 and Thousand Year Door. Uh, I prefer the turn-based RPG ones, but this is still a fun 2D game. It is a side-scrolling platformer, but you actually has the option to let you switch to 3D. You're literally like turning the perspective, so you're seeing a 2D level in 3D, and it like opens up paths and hidden things. It's very interesting. I don't think I've ever seen another game do something like that. I'm sure there is. I just can't think of any. Smash. Probably my least favorite Smash Brothers. Uh, I think I might like this a little more than 64. I just didn't like the mechanics in the game. Like, I feel I prefer Melee over this. That one felt much more competitive than this. This was kind of like the ugly stepchild. Tales of Symphonia: Dawn of a New World. I have not played this yet because I haven't finished the first Symphonia. I also have the Symphonia HD collection on PS3. I'm not going to talk about something that I haven't had a chance to play yet. Trauma Center New Blood and Trauma Center Second Opinion. I've played one of them. I can't remember which one. They both they're both like the same basic thing. And I think this one's a remake and this one's a new game, or vice versa. But it's literally like originally the one was a DS game that they ported to Wii. And on the DS you'd have to use the stylus to like do things, and they just translated that into motion controls, which didn't work. This is a game, it's fun, but you have to experience it. So, yeah. I have games falling over. This is 3 games in one. It's 3 shmups or shoot 'em ups. They actually they all have distinctive art styles, but they all play basically the same. I believe because they're all from the same developer. I'm gonna assume. Like, there are other better shooters out there. This is one that if you can find it for a decent price and you're looking to add to your Wii collection or your shooter collection, pick it up. But yeah. All right. Wario Land, Shake It. I actually really thought this game was good. It is a 2D Wario game. I don't like a lot of games. I don't like the motion controls. I felt like it was just tacked on just because motion controls were a thing. The goal is you get to the end of the level, and then you have to rush back to the beginning. But they have like a hand drawn art style on here, which is really unique, kind of like Rayman Origins. WarioWare Smooth Moves. WarioWare with motion controls. We Love Golf. This is made by Camelot, which are the same people that did the Mario Golf games. But we didn't get an actual new Mario Golf game, primarily because of Wii Sports. So this is essentially Mario Golf, just without the Mario characters. It actually, because it's published by Capcom, it has Capcom characters in there. But I like it, but I don't. The motion controls, I don't think it was as good in here as Wii Sports was. This game should be on the cheap as well, because this looks like a very generic shovelware game, but it's not. It actually is pretty good. Just be prepared for like wonky motion controls. But I mean, that's with any Wii game. Most Wii games, the motion controls are going to be a gamble. Wii Play. This is 9 tech demos in one. Literally, it's just basic stuff like got like a friggin' paddle ball game. You got break the target. You got play pool. What else is on here? Nothing exciting looking. And it's not bad. I mean, this is, $5. It might be worth it. There is a Wii Play Motion game that I still have to get, which is essentially more of the same. Okay. Wii Sports Resort. Now, Wii Sports came with every Wii until like later on when they started bundling like Mario Kart and whatnot. But I don't think I need to explain. That's the thing. I don't think I need to explain a lot of these games, because it's like, do you need me to explain something that you've probably heard of and that everybody else talks about on YouTube? No. But it's fun. This one, it was fun as well. What all was on here? I don't even know. This one had like wave racing, fucking basketball, archery, jet skiing, I think. I don't know. This one felt like this was an obvious tech demo. This one felt like they made it into a full game, but it still feels like a tech demo. They're both fun. You've probably played Wii Sports if you have a Wii or had a Wii. This is my favorite Wii game. I also have this on the DS and the Switch. This was the part of that Operation Rainfall that I mentioned earlier. This was the first game. Nintendo published this themselves here in the States. And I heard about the Operation Rainfall petition. And when they announced it, I pre-ordered it and bought it just to support it. And I didn't look at any gameplay of this. I knew it was an RPG, but I think because I didn't look into it at all, it just pulled me in, because nowadays you see so much stuff from a game before it gets released. So this was essentially going in completely blind. And this is still my favorite Xenoblade game, period. I very much love the story and the characters. Yeah, I don't know. And last but not least, Link's crossbow training. This came with the Wii Zapper. It's literally just, they gave Link a crossbow and you're just shooting targets. It is fun. It is a tech demo. I think that's a problem with a lot of Wii games. A lot of them feel like tech demos, which isn't a bad thing. Well, it can be a bad thing, but in cases like this, it's a good thing. It is fun. You can find it for dirt cheap. This is the Zelda game a lot of people tend to forget about. But yeah, that's my Wii collection. There's still a few more games that I'd like to pick up. I still want to get like Pikmin 1 and 2 and Resident Evil 1 and 0 and just, stuff that I already have on other consoles. But for the most part, I think I pretty much got everything I want on the Wii. But thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.